what happened to you? Just briefly. And then you can tell me how you're helping people now after what happened to you. Maybe you could tell your story a little bit. How did it start?
I was playing college football. And I was an athlete my whole life. I was in a car accident in 2008. I was going into my last year of football and had an impact brain injury. I was knocked into a coma for about 7 weeks. And traumatic brain injury, I had to learn how to walk and talk again. And basically had to recover. And I did what I had to do. And I went back to school a year after I could. And I was in physical education, and one of the people there told me to go to recreation because physical education was too demanding at the time. And so I went over to recreation and I met Dr. Daly at Kean University, and she's the one who taught me how to be a recreational specialist. She introduced me to the Greenbelt Recreation Center where I did an internship, a 280-hour internship for the Parks Department.
So, Jonathan, I have a question. If it seems like I'm not remembering things, I don't remember much. So, if it's something you said to me, and sorry for repeating, I know you were in a coma for 30 days? Was
7
it 30
weeks.
days? 7 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. Can you remember what happened to you, like, when you actually first came to? Or did you come to, like, day by day, little tiny bits?
I think it was slowly.
Slowly?
I mean, I know that I was in a coma for 7 weeks. I don't remember waking people like, what is it like waking up from a coma? And I don't remember, I remember the last 2 weeks of the hospital vaguely. I was in the hospital for 3 months and a week, in a coma for 7 weeks. And my father can tell you more about it.
So, Dad, you can tell me a little bit more about it. I'm going to put the camera on you, and you can tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I could fill in some blanks prior to that, because I think the story really starts long before when John picked it up. When he was born, we found out 6 weeks later he actually died in my arms. He had a heart attack.
Wow.
He had an arrest.
So did he have an operation after that, or he just
immediately.
came to it?
I mean, this was incredible. We were at my mother-in-law's. My wife said, "We're going to the hospital." I said, "Okay." And riding to the hospital, there was nothing there.
Wow.
I mean, I leaned over and I actually smacked him in the face. And he perked up a little bit, zoomed back to the hospital, and they said, "Get him up to Mount Sinai immediately." And we went up there, and the next day he had open heart surgery. He had a blockage in his aorta.
Open heart surgery?
Oh, yes.
That's a tough
At 6
operation.
weeks old.
That's a really tough operation.
And they banded one side of his aorta.
How did that affect you, Jonathan? Like in school and all, did you know that you had this, you were recuperating from a heart surgery?
Not really. I mean, I was a baby. When I was 2, I had the real surgery, because when I was an infant at 5 weeks, they couldn't do much. They just put a patch over the hole in my heart, I believe.
Wow.
And then when I was 2, they went back in to sew it up. And I don't remember too much limitations.
No, he never really had limitations. I mean, it was incredible how he recovered from that. I mean, he started playing ball, and this was incredible. He played Little League.
Mm-hmm.
And I was involved in sports myself. I knew, I could pick out ball plays, whatever.
Play for the Giants. Go ahead.
Well, that's a different story. But anyway, he plays Little League, senior minor, 10 years old. He bats legitimately 700. I mean, nobody bats 700.
Okay.
I had a dispute with the board of directors because they thought I was cooking the books. They checked the opposition, and it was more than 700.
Okay.
So, I mean, he excelled.
So now back to Jonathan. You know what I want to do? I want to turn this up and so that everybody sees this board that you brought in. This camera here. Look,
No.
there it is. Everyone has their own story. Meet John. He's been in the newspaper a few times, right?
Yes.
I have to read some.
It was more than 700.
Okay.
So, I mean, he excelled.
So now back to Jonathan. You know what I want to do? I want to turn this up and so that everybody sees this board that you brought in. This camera here. Look,
Well.
there it is. Everyone has their own story. Meet John. It's been in the newspaper a few times, right?
Yes.
I have to read some of it. So, you were fighting for your life again. At what age?
I was 21 at the time. I went out for a night, and I was a designated driver. People always assumed that I was drinking. I wasn't drinking. Alcohol level was clean. Turns out I was told I slid on black ice and hit a pole. I was in the car alone, and my car split into a V. And I didn't have a scratch on me, but I had an impact brain injury, which means my brain shook in my skull. Heart was bleeding and damage in the front left part. And went to the hospital. It was more by the south side, but the south side doesn't take trauma victims. So I went to the north side, and you can tell me the rest. I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so you went to the north side, and then what happened? You know the rest.
Oh, they saved his life. They did.
So
did
what
a
do
heck
you
of a
think,
job.
Dad? If you were there when he was in the coma, when he was in the hospital.
I was there for 2 months
He
straight.
lived with me.
So
I did not go home.
Right
what's
next
the
to me.
most important thing? You could be helping people today. Just maybe they have someone in the hospital or who's just gone to the hospital. What's the most important thing you can do when you do have someone in a coma in a hospital?
Communicate.
Communicate.
Keep talking.
You talk as if they're there, as if they understand every word you say.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing.
And then he had friends.
And you heard it all. I know you heard it all.
Apparently.
He had friends
So-
come over. They were talking, and then it just was incredible because when he came out of it, it was slow, very, very slow. But he was every day was an improvement with him, and then he started getting his mental capacity back and saw what he had to do, and that's right up his alley.
Okay.
And he just kept on going forward and forward, improving, and
So let me
he never
ask you a
stopped.
question, Jonathan. If you had a day when you had no schedules at all, what would be your most favorite thing to do now, after everything? You got nothing on your schedule, no appointments to meet. What's your favorite thing to do?
Hang out with my son.
Ah,
2-year-old.
so you have a son,
He's going to be 2 on May 13th.
2 years old.
Yes.
Wow, that's fabulous. Okay. So you play ball with him, do things like that?
Whatever. He's fun.
Okay.
It makes him smile.
So back to I have written down a couple of questions. Don't tell anybody, I have no memory. So, has your medical problems, what happened to you in the hospital, has that affected your memory at all?
Not my memory, not from what I think. I think my memory's pretty good, actually. I went back to school a year later. And
A year later, that's
Yes.
pretty quick.
I was in college playing football with a 2.85 GPA, nothing to be proud of. And because of the insecurity of going back to school after a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I guess that made me look into things more, analyze things more, study more, pay attention more. I finished college with a 3.85 GPA.
That is fabulous. You know what? The fact that you finished college after that, that's good. Because college is not easy if you have nothing wrong with you, if you have no accidents. So, how do you help people today? Tell me what you do.
Well, I work at the Ocean Breeze, at a recreation center, Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex. And I do fitness classes Sunday through Thursday, twice a day. All different kind of classes, all different kind of abilities. I do a class called Rhythm and Weights, which is a dance fitness class.
So, Ellen, tell me, how did Jonathan help you? Did he help you?
Jonathan did. When I wanted to know how do I, as a senior, 71 years old, get physically fit, he patiently explained and showed me what to do. And he encouraged me and everyone with his philosophy of just worry about today.
So what kind of condition did you go in there in? Like, what was your medical or physical?
I was walking with a walker.
Yeah.
I had surgery. I could barely walk.
Wow.
That Ocean Breeze track is fabulous.
Mhm.
And Jonathan knows just what to do in his classes that people like me can do. And having lost the 100 pounds, I'm now not using the walker,
That's
and
good.
I am physically fit.
That's great.
Thanks to the inspiration of Jonathon, who said,
So he's kind of
just
like your
take
hero,
one
right?
day at a time. Just take today. Just try to do what you can at this moment. That I can handle.
So
That's his
Jonathon-
inspiration.
Don't hit the mic. So Jonathan, so that's your idea, one day at a time?
Take it day by day. What are you gonna do? Looking into the future, just do your best now.
So what's your attitude if you have a bad day? Like just everything goes wrong, you have a bad day, what are you thinking?
It can only get better.
You know what, I like that because that's how I think. That's definitely how I think. Definitely. I like your
You'd
attitude.
be surprised what you can do if you actually really try. A lot of
If
people
you-
say, I can't.
Exactly.
I could have said that. You know, my body was paralyzed. I always said my body was paralyzed. I had to learn how to walk and talk with speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. And
How long were you paralyzed? Or half of your body was? How long?
it slowly came back through nerve damage. You know, nerve damage from the left side of the brain was damaged, so the right side of the body was shut down. Had to learn how to write again. My fine motor kinesian skills were gone. Had to build everything back.
And how long did it take you to finally get everything back?
It's still in
Still doing it,
progress.
right?
You know, no one's in 10, as they say at my work. No one's in 10.
Okay.
You know, because there's always room for improvement. You always can get better. I guess 2 years you wouldn't notice unless you look for it, like a disability.
Mm-hmm.
But my right side of the body is spastic, and that means that this is normal reflexes.
Right.
Left side is normal. If I wanted to fire on my right side, you see it's restricted. Almost feels like I
Okay.
push rubber bands. My whole right side is like that, and that's
So
improved.
do you still exercise to get more improvement, or is that as far
Always.
as you do?
Look at those
Okay.
arms. You kidding?
I got some
So
tattoo.
okay.
It doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's
Oh,
what this
wow.
says.
You know, okay, I have to say something to that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I disagree with that because it's not what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's what your attitude is after something doesn't kill you. It's what your attitude is. That's what makes you stronger. Because that explains why two people in a family, one can have something horrible happen to them, and one can have something horrible happen to them, and yet one gets stronger and one gets weaker because it's the attitude. And I like your attitude. You have a
Thank
great
you.
positive attitude. I think that's what really brings you to where you are today.
Thank you so much.
So, what do you do at Ocean Breeze now? You there a couple of days a week or
Sunday through Thursday,
Sunday through
5-day
Thursday?
schedule. 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
So do you give like a special class? What kind of a class do you give?
I give a class called Rhythm and Weights. It's a dance fitness class. That's a popular one. I had 66
Okay.
members today in my class.
Wow.
I do
66?
a morning class at 6:30 a.m. I've been getting 18 to 20 people every day,
Uh-huh.
and they stick with it.
Now, do you have any slow classes for senior citizens? Or
Yeah.
what do you do with a senior citizen who's not really... I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me.
I do a class called Adaptive Fitness. That's for people with physical disabilities.
What's
and
it called?
Adaptive Fitness.
Adaptive fitness. Okay,
On
tell us
Sundays.
about adaptive fitness.
That's for people with physical and or mental disabilities
Mhm.
that want to get back to exercising. And
So you start with little exercises, or
Yes.
can you show me like a little exercise, just one?
I do a lot of things with the TRX suspension cables. And
Okay.
that's using your body.
I don't even know what that is.
Well,
What is
I'll
that?
explain it to you. That's using it's body weight as resistance.
Right.
It's all according to where you put your feet. It can be easy as you want or as hard as you want,
Mhm.
according to where you place your feet. And total body workouts with it.
Wow.
You know.
So what do you think is the best thing for seniors, like to start with? That's what you. That's
That would
the very,
be good
The very best thing.
with a good
What if a
instructor.
person like cannot lift any weights, can't do anything with weights?
I actually train with people outside of the gym who can't go to gyms like that with cerebral palsy. Trained a
Wow.
lady with MS.
Mhm.
I trained a gentleman who had a piece of his removed from his spine, a growth.
Oh my
and it
goodness.
left him paralyzed. But
That-
he was in a walker and he's not using a walker anymore.
Say that again because everybody needs to hear that.
He was in a walker and he's not using a walker no more. The girl Michelle I trained with cerebral palsy, she uses an electric wheelchair for 20 years of her life. I'm with her for 4 years. She's now able to use a walker and do
That's
stuff
good.
that people cannot do.
That's good.
Like as I said, you're surprised what you can do if you try.
Okay. So when we talk about other people now, we won't mention any names because they're not here. But what do you think was, without mentioning any names, what was your hardest case? Did you ever have anybody who just came to you and like, there's just no help and no hope?
There's always hope, but
There's always hope, right?
I guess Michelle was, she was tough because I didn't know where to start with her, but slowly but surely, I started the routine with her, and it worked out. It's working out.
Okay. So what do you do on an average day? I see you're in shape. You keep in shape. So do you go like running or something? Do you? What do you do like every day?
He does his classes.
Classes. Okay. Oh, so you're one of those instructors that doesn't just stand there and
No.
say 1, 2, 1, 2.
Some
You
I
do
do.
the
Some of them I
exercise
do.
with-
Some of them I do. Some
with
of them
the
I don't.
class? Okay.
Rhythm and weights, you have to follow me because it's a dance fitness, and that's pretty much I have to do that one.
So I've never been to anything like that. So what do you mean? You're actually like dancing and you're having weights too?
It's with weights, and
Mhm.
it's about movements and I guess dancing, and
So what do you do with someone who's just starting with a walker? Just like can only walk with a walker, like Ellen. You were walking with a walker when you first went. So what do you do with you have to do exercise with the walker, right?
mhm.
Tell me something that you want me to know. Talk.
Well, I
What's-
could just tell you about John. I mean,
Tell me about John.
John has the most participants than anybody in the city, as far as those who get involved with his class. I mean, there's
Ah.
incredible numbers.
Mhm.
It's just not by accident that people come. He's doing something completely right. And
Well, I think it's his attitude. He seems to have a very
but
positive
he
attitude.
understands kinesiology, what makes the body work, resistance. If you got
You can talk a little louder.
if you got a deficiency, he'll understand what muscles have to be strengthened to overcome the deficiency.
Right.
Like somebody in a walker, maybe.
So what do you do? Do you do any of the exercises? I know you have a lot of knowledge about John.
Well, I was a phys ed teacher back in the day.
Ah, phys ed teacher.
And I used to run a gym myself.
And he played for the Giants. He knows about exercise.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
I got knocked around a little bit. But
Okay.
no, I understand it, but he's got a science that's far beyond.
So Jonathan, tell me something. We just recently had some holidays and we had some birthdays and all. I think I lost like, there was a while in between there, but I lost at least 70, 80 pounds or whatever.
Good for you.
But I tend to like now when I have a holiday or something, I want to celebrate. And so I found this really nice cake in the grocery store. And I tend to celebrate by having something sweet and having something I never had before. Do you have any kind of celebration that does not involve food?
Celebration doesn't.
Involves food, right? Healthy food?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you're physically fit? Do you like eat healthy, like
Yes.
vegetarian or anything?
Not vegetarian. I just know what I have to eat,
hmm
and pretty much I eat to satisfy my hunger,
Like portion size,
not my
right?
appetite. Yes.
Okay.
People say, "Oh, that looks good."
So what do you look forward to when you wake up in the morning? Your
See,
son wakes you up?
No, he wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll tell you that because
Yeah.
he's in
So
at
what time
5.
is your first class?
6:30.
Oh, goodness. Wait a
They come.
minute. Your starting class is at 6:30 in the morning?
Yes.
He gets
And
in at 5. He
How many
works-
people can show up for a 6:30 in the morning
Listen.
class?
18 came today.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's making me tired just now. I do get up at 6 a.m., but I'm not outside exercising at 6 a.m. Wow. So do you have any later classes in 6:30?
12:30 on Sundays, my last class. I need to do a class at
So what do you do on, this is going to be aired at a different time, so you may have your classes changed, but for now, you're doing 12:30 on a Sunday. What kind of class is that?
that's the adaptive fitness class.
Oh, so for seniors? Or
Yes.
for anybody adaptive fitness? Any
More for
age?
people with disabilities, but
Disabilities?
Yes.
Oh, 12:30 on Sunday. That sounds good.
Huh.
Ocean Breeze, you know
Sundays.
what? A couple of people I've met don't know what Ocean Breeze is.
a lot of
They've
people.
never been to Ocean Breeze.
A lot of people pass the building because it's been built for a while because Sandy sent them back. But
Uh-huh.
it's a
When
giant.
did that open? It opened right after Sandy, or?
No, my
Yeah.
start date was May 13th, but I wasn't working. I didn't start in the facility.
Wow.
We started in the trailers outside as the facility was still being built, and it's a giant track facility, and it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Get to work at the
Tell
gym.
me a little bit about Ocean Breeze, about the setup and everything that's in it and around it, and what happens to a person who walks in for the first time. And I'm going to change those words on the screen, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
What about Ocean Breeze?
It's a track facility, mainly, and there's a weight room, a cardio room, and a multi-purpose room, and we offer fitness classes every day with different instructors. November to March is track season, and
Yeah, it's a state of the art facility, and they have track meets from all over, from the East Coast. I mean, they got college in there, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Track meets, that's running, right?
Yeah.
I'm not too
Running, jumping.
Well, look at me, I don't exercise that much.
you
But I
can
have
do it.
been to Ocean Breeze, and I'll tell you, I like what I see there.
No,
I think I tried one of those bikes once, but I think I overdid it a little. So, you work Sundays and what was the other day?
Sunday through Thursday.
Sunday through Thursday. Okay, so a person can walk in there and pretty much maybe bump into you one time and say, how about a class? And so you have to sign up for classes, right?
You have to sign up for classes. Once you remember, all the classes are included.
Oh, okay.
To show up.
Okay.
His schedule
That's
is there. I mean, you could, look up for his schedule when he has a class. See
Oh,
him.
okay.
He'll be
So
glad to help
when
you.
they put the classes on the, I just realized we have 8 minutes left to talk. I want to bring the other board in. I'd like to put that on the camera. So how long you been in Ocean Breeze?
Since May 13th of 2015.
2015. How long
Yeah,
have you
but-
stayed
and
there? You
my-
like it, right?
Yes, it's cool.
Okay. So what's your most favorite part about the whole building and the whole Ocean Breeze? What's your favorite thing there?
The fact that I can work with anybody, And if something's too hard, I'll modify it so you can do it. And I mean, I've myself been through all modifications to
Okay.
get where I am today. I work from Macomb 170 pounds. I'm 200 pounds now. I had to build everything back.
Wow.
230 to 170 in 10 weeks. And I had to pretty much put myself back together physically.
That's cool. That's really cool. Let me take a look at my questions because your memory's probably way better than mine. I asked you that question already. This is very unusual when I'm stuck for words. You have a really good story.
Thank you.
A very good story. So you've been there since 2015.
Yes.
Oh, there's the board. Well, I'm going to bring the board in. Thank you. I would like you to, hold on, let me sit here. We're going to show the board. I think I might be able to put it right up on the camera. I think, you know what? Let's see which camera is it. Oh, is that one? I'm very bad at this.
There
It
we
must be
go.
that one there, and I'm too close to it. Hold on. Must be that one. There you go. So you're in the Staten Island Advance. You got that? You want
I
to
got
hold
it.
that?
Picture you see, I was actually,
It says, people tell me you're a strong kid, you'll have such will. I don't see how there's any other way. I just go along day by day. And this picture of you.
Yeah.
And who are these people?
Take a pic.
that's my son.
There's
Those
the
are
little guy.
Those are the firefighters
Oh,
that,
there's your son. That's cool.
and those are the firefighters that pulled me out of the car and
These
saved
guys
my
that
life.
saved me.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I actually coached a year after too. At my
And there you are
alma
with
mater
your,
at Tauntville.
you coach?
I was defensive line coach, yes, afterwards.
What, say that again?
After the accident, my coach, Jim Munson, asked me to come back and be a coach.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
A little footnote on his career at Tottenville. I really like this day. Kid had two heart operations before he was 2.
That's great.
Never played football. Went there. Ended up being the only kid, the only defensive or lineman
Offensive
to
team.
go both ways on the best team that Tottenville ever had. The only undefeated team they had. He was the only guy that had went both ways. Which
Offensive
you got a
defense.
heart. You have 2 heart operations before you're 2, and then recovered to the point where you at 285 pounds became the rock steadfast guy on both offense and defense. I thought that was incredible.
That sounds incredible. Now, Jonathan, a question for you. And this is for you. What do you think about rest?
It's needed.
It's vital.
You need rest.
A little louder.
You need rest.
So, even a great physically fit guy who's come through everything, I ask you that for one reason, because I know a lot of people who do a lot of work and a lot of exercise, and they don't have balance and they don't put rest in the mix. So, you do teach people and tell people that exercise is
I
good
tell
and
people
rest too?
when you exercise, you're actually breaking down muscle fibers. You're breaking down muscle fibers, and as they heal, and you eat good food and eat and sleep and rest, that's how they grow and rebuild.
That's
what it goes for.
important. That's important.
If
That's
not,
one thing I wanted to...
you can keep damaging muscle tissue, and it's not going to improve.
Now, what do you do for the, this is really terrible, but what about the loose skin? Like, I actually see I have a little loose skin. I lost weight.
Build muscle under it.
How do you get muscle, like, in your stomach? Is there a way to get muscle in your stomach?
You got to come to his class.
Oh, I gotta come to this class. there's no little hint, a little a life hack, as they say.
Just keep repetition and do
Repetition
it.
and do it. Okay, we have 4 minutes left, and here's what I want you to do. Maybe since we couldn't show this on air, maybe your dad could read some of this.
Read the first paragraph.
Maybe you could read
Read the
that.
first paragraph of the middle one.
Read some of that and try to talk loud so we can hear you on the
Okay,
mic.
fighting for his life again. When he was just a baby, Jonathon Adone survived 2 open heart surgeries. As he grew older, he became strong enough to play a key role in Tottenville High School undefeated football season in 2003. Now 21 years old, Adone is fighting for his life again. In critical condition with a severe head trauma after he slammed his car into a pole on the West Shore Expressway. Adone's parents and family held a vigil at Staten Island University Hospital, Ocean Breeze, last night, praying for his strength, survival. He's a big, strong kid. It's all in his favor, said his old man. Then he goes on and talks about the crash, but he came through. The story's unbelievable, because he was gone. The guys who got there, the firemen, saved his life.
He said I was great when they pulled me out of the car.
They got him out of that thing. That was number one. Ambulance there was right there, and in the police report they showed me later, they mentioned the word death 3 times.
Okay, so we've only got about 2 minutes. So one of the reasons why I had you on the show, one, I want to tell people because usually my show is, no matter what the topic is, I always have a message of that there's always hope. There's always a reason to go on, and there's always something you can do. Even when you look at things and you think there's nothing you can do, right? What do you think about that?
There's always something you can do. You know, you'd be surprised. As I said, you'd be surprised what you can do when you try. A lot of people tell them, I can't, because of this, because of that, because of this. Just try. You can do
Always
it.
have hope. Keep on keeping on.
Yep. I could have said that. I mean, I was in a wheelchair and a walker. I could have said, what am I going to do now? People always ask me, how do you do it? You're so strong. How do you do it? How'd you get from there to here? What else is it going to do? That's how I look at it. It's going to fade away.
What else are you going to do, right? You can only go up.
What am I going to do?
You can only keep improving. Okay, so we get 1 minute and 47 seconds. Jonathan, if you had your own show, and nobody's telling you what to do, I want to know how you start your show and what would you say to people that are listening. You know, Time Warner Spectrum has 440,000 viewers for all of their stations. So there's a chance that a lot of people are watching you right now. So what would you say? This is the Jonathon show.
So for everybody who's been injured or hurt at a certain time, and use that as an excuse not to go on and help yourself out. You know, try something. You know, people have to know what they have to do though. So go somewhere where they can tell you what to do, and they can help you. And once you know what to do, then just do it. I've been in therapy, physical therapy. My biggest recovery was on my own because I knew what I had to do, and I did it in the gym. You know, that's pretty much
You did
it.
what you had to do and you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if someone came to you and really, really, really they had no hope at all? Would you still talk with them?
Yes, I try to make them want to do it, and when they want to do it, then you can't push somebody to do something. if they
Okay,
don't
we're
wanna
on
do it.
Saturdays usually at 12:30. All different episodes are on Saturdays at 12:30. We really want to thank you for coming into the show. We're still on air for about a few more seconds, probably 20 seconds. It is the Books and Music Review Show at books.musicreview@gmail.com
You want some of this?
with Jonathon Adone